as well? Okay. In 2013, I was diagnosed with anemia, and it kept recurring. The doctors didn't try to find out why, but they just kept recommending iron supplements. I had some intestinal bleeding as well, and that made the situation worse. Eventually it dropped, hemoglobin dropped so low they put me in the hospital and they gave me intravenous iron. That irritated, burned, as I said, the vein, and then I developed a blood clot or deep venous thrombosis in my left arm. Because of that, I had to be given heparin and then started on warfarin. After I was on warfarin for a little while, the bleeding got worse, of course. No surprise there, I ended up back in the hospital. They gave me more IV iron and erythropoietin, built up my hemoglobin somewhat. Came out of the hospital, and then they were monitoring the blood clot. So that occurred on February 15th. I had another ultrasound the early part of May, and they said that the blood clot had extended. This time the doctor wanted me to take another anticoagulant. This one has no known antidote, so if you start to bleed, you hemorrhage, you go to the hospital and they try to save your life. I didn't take it. It scared me. I was hoping that my body would heal itself naturally. So I went to also a rheumatologist shortly thereafter, and she tested me for antibodies, and one was antiphospholipid antibody syndrome. She said that I had the condition. She sent me to an internist at St. Paul's Hospital, a specialist, who said that it was probably as a result of some inflammatory process in my body. She also felt that the clot probably would be there for life, and I could just live with it, and it probably wouldn't be a problem, but still very frightening nonetheless. Then she sent me to the radiology department for an ultrasound, which they happened to be able to fit me in right away, and the technician did the scan of my arm and finally got to the brachial vein, and she said, have you been on anticoagulants? I said, yeah. She said, well, when did you stop them? I said, oh, a couple of months ago. She said, I can't find any sign of a clot. She got in, her supervisor couldn't find any sign of a clot. The radiologist read the scans, the clot's completely gone. I have a lot of improvement in my health. Now I seem to be absorbing the iron supplements, and my hemoglobin just shot up. It's probably in normal range right now. I had they diagnosed me with fibromyalgia, and I had terrible pain. That has almost completely disappeared. I've been on this program, Dr. Samio's program, for about a month, more or less. And I've noticed an improvement in my digestion, my sleep, the fibromyalgia itself, that's just amazing. That's a terrible thing to try and live with, and I know people live with it or feel resigned to living with it for the rest of their lives, and I just can't believe how much better I feel. There are other things, there are just so many. I felt like my whole body was breaking down, and now I'm starting to feel energy returning. I can walk better. I was walking with a cane. I was so weak, and now I can walk without a cane. And I have energy. I can walk 2 or 3 miles, whereas before I could barely walk a block and had to stop and rest. It's been a tremendous change in such a short period of time. I can't believe it. I thought it would take forever, if it happened at all.